Welcome to the third episode of Heartful Communication. There is a particular time in every Heartful Communication workshop when two very special characters make their appearance. Do you know they're making a video about us?
A video? They should make a movie. Or at least a web series.
Everyone loves when the Jackal and Giraffe puppets come out. And it's not just the puppets. They also make an appearance as ears on people's heads. We asked Liz Kingsnorth what this is all about.
This is something from Marshall Rosenberg and nonviolent communication. It's not my invention at all. Is that Marshall Rosenberg chose the giraffe as a symbol for nonviolent communication because of its heart. And as you probably can guess, it's got a huge heart. Needs to have a huge heart to pump blood up, half a kilometre up to its head. So it's got a huge heart, and nonviolent communication, heartful communication, of course, is heart-centered. So the giraffe, in fact, giraffe language is trademarked in the same way that nonviolent communication is trademarked. So the giraffe is the symbol of nonviolent communication, where you are trying to connect with, at the heart level, with yourself and with other people. And the jackal, he's poor jackals. I mean, I feel a bit sorry for jackals. Why them? He picked them as a symbol of language which disconnects, alienating language, the language of blame, of judgment, of threat, of demand, of shoulds and musts and so forth, which is how the jackal has been educated to speak. But the jackal is a giraffe that went to the wrong school. He wasn't educated in such a way to be able to hear with the heart and to understand needs. So, what is important when we're working with these two symbols of jackal and giraffe is not to fall into this trap of giraffe good, jackal bad. Not at all. In fact, I usually say to people, your jackals are your pals. They're your best friends. They're your allies, because they are speaking your needs in code. They're using the code they've learned from their cultural upbringing, from their education, from the media, from their socialization. So that's what Marshall meant when he said they went to the wrong school, But so when you learn to hear the jackal when it's, really upset and saying, how could he be so irresponsible, or talking to oneself, saying, you're never going to understand this heartful communication, you're just useless. Then that's the code for, I'm feeling really discouraged. I'd love to have a sense of more progress here. There's my feeling, there's my need. But we don't say that. That's the trouble. We haven't been educated to speak in that way. So we learn to hear the jackal phrases of blame and judgment and so forth with our giraffe hearts, and understand that those are longings, those are needs and feelings that are being expressed by somebody who hasn't yet learned to express in a different way, which will bring them to life. When we can say what our feelings, needs are, when we can make requests rather than demands, which is a huge difference. The jackal tends to make a demand, and the difference is, am I willing to hear the word no when I make a request? If I'm not willing to hear the word no, it's a demand. I'm in demand energy. So one of the features of requests that we help people to practice, and it's a big skill to learn to make requests, that they need to be specific, doable. You know, if you just say to somebody, would you please be more considerate? Please love me more. How do you do that? Oh, but I do love you, you know. No, you don't. You know, off you go. It's huge, it's big, it's vague. Would you please be more considerate? Yep, sure. But nothing changes. So the request needs to be specific. You know, would you be willing to come home before 6 o'clock so that before the kids go to bed, would you be willing to come home before 6 on, say, 3 evenings a week so that we can, you know, have tea together, maybe play with the kids before they go to bed? Whereas the demand would be, you know, can you not just be here more? Sure. But it doesn't happen. So being specific, that it's doable, and the key thing is it needs to be negotiable. You need to be willing to hear the no in whatever form it comes. Because no, no through the lens of needs consciousness is not a no at all. It's simply the other person has a different need. That's all no is. No means, let me get interested in what other need this person has in this moment, which matters to them more than meeting my need. In other words, we say to people, get curious, not furious. So when the no comes, get curious about what that need might be. Get interested, find out. So you say, you know, would you be willing to come back at 3? Well, no, I can't do that. There'll be the can't. And you say, okay, so I wonder, would you be willing to say a bit more? What is it at the moment that really is important to you? Well, you know that by the end of this week, I have to have submitted the whole of our financial report. It's, you know, okay. So in other words, when you get the reason, don't then reject it, because when you've asked for information, you've got the information, even though if you don't like it, you've got the clarity that you've asked for. So this thing of getting interested in a no, it's another shift in our habits that we don't enjoy usually hearing no. But when you get interested in the other person's no and you find out they've got a different need in there, then you're into, if you like, a very simple form of conflict resolution, which is that I've got a need, this person's got a need, and usually people fight about, I want to get this met, no, I want to get this met here. So it's A's way or B's way. But what we say is, when you know what those both needs are, find a new way. It's called the third way. A new way. And I've got a lovely little story that illustrates the third way, because it's so simple, and it was with a child. A friend of mine was with this child who was only, I think, about 6 or something, and they were playing in a park. This was in Scotland. It was quite cold, and my friend got cold and tired and wanted to go home, had enough. The child wanted to continue to play. This was in the park in the town. So you have the potential now for a conflict. You know, and usually, or often, the parent might insist, no, you've had enough, we've been here already for half an hour, we're going home. You know, and then you've got tantrum or tears or whatever. So, but what this child did was find a third way. And it was something that was very natural to the child. What she said was, I know, we'll go home, we'll put a blanket in the garden and a pillow, and we'll wrap you up all nice and warm, we'll make a cup of tea, so you can be warm and comfy and rest in the garden, and I'll play around you. So there's both needs. This is what we mean by the third way. You don't look for this way or that way, because that's where the battle lies. You look for how can we come up with a completely new, creative solution where both needs are taken into account.
Now let's see an example of Jackal and Giraffe language.
You're never here. You don't care about the family at all. Jackal language. Accusation, blame. Okay, so when the giraffe speaks this, it's going to use 4 ingredients, of which 2 we've already talked a lot about, which is feelings and needs. Well, actually 3 we've talked about, requests as well. But there's another element in nonviolent communication. This is again with great gratitude to Marsha Rosenberg, who identified that when we describe something that's triggering us, we almost always do it in the language of interpretation, of judgment, of evaluation of some kind. So here's, you're never here. You don't care about the family at all. You can hear the interpretation of their absence. First of all, that word never. I mean, it's almost never true, right? When we say never, it's because of the amount of emotion that's in there that it comes out as never. In other words, it's an expression of the intensity of feeling, but it's not accurate. And, you know, if we say to somebody, you're never here, they might say, yeah, I was here 3 weeks ago. You know, so that would be so we use what's called observation language, the language of witnessing. In other words, we learn how to describe what has happened, what is happening, as if a video camera is recording it, like what it sees and what it hears, and no more. A video camera cannot interpret. A video camera can't say never. Can't do that. It can't interpret you don't care about the family at all. A video camera cannot do that. That's an interpretation that we make. So to be able to describe just what's happened absolutely neutrally, absolutely factually, is what we call observation language. So then it might come out as, and the tone matters immensely. You can ruin the whole thing with your tone. So you might say something like, you know, when I remember this weekend and the last 2 weekends when you were away working with your team, or whatever it is. Perhaps they might be a fanatical runner, and you were practicing for the marathons on both Saturday and Sunday for the last 3 weekends. And I was with the children by myself. Now that is an absolute description of what is accurate. The point about observation, well, there's several things. One is that neutrality immediately kind of calms you, and it calms the other person. Because it's factually accurate, you have the potential for common ground. The other person can agree with your description. Yes, you know, they may not say it, but it's factually accurate that for the last 3 weekends, they were away practicing for the marathon or with the team or whatever it is. Do you see? So, but you can wreck the whole thing by saying, well, when I remember for the last 3 weekends, you're away practicing for the marathon, and I was. So you can say the same thing, but your whole tone is interpretive and carries all that emotion in the description. Now, there is a place for your feelings, which will come next. You can say, so if you manage to say it in this very neutral, calm way, it's like you get over that first hurdle of the other person is not going to contradict you, and you're not Because if you say it in any other way, you're into a fight immediately. You're never here. What do you mean I'm never here? You know, you don't care about... You think I don't care about that? You know, there's the fight right there in your use of language, in your use of words. So you say it neutrally, and then you can say, you know, I feel lonely. Not I feel abandoned. Do you see how abandoned actually isn't a feeling? It's not a feeling. It's an accusation of what you think the other person has done to you. I feel ignored, I feel abandoned, I feel judged, you know, all those ones. They're what we call sort of pseudo feelings. So you go down underneath those and you express the authentic feeling which is there, which might be I just feel really lonely, or it might be I feel helpless, it might be I feel exhausted. Whatever it is, it's your feeling, and you take responsibility for your feeling as a feeling that has emerged from your need. So, you know, I feel really lonely because, and then you say your need, because I just so love it when we share time together, when we have family time together. There's the need right there. So your feeling comes from your need, not from what the other person has done. The other person has triggered a feeling need, but they haven't caused you to feel how you feel. Your feeling comes from that, in this case, unfulfilled need. So, you know, I feel really lonely and I just love it when we can spend time together. Then, if you want to change something to happen, you need to make a request. But you need to make sure that it's really specific, really doable, one step, negotiable. Otherwise, the disconnection will happen again, you know. So you might say something like, do you think after dinner tonight we could sit down with a cup of coffee and just talk about how we might bring a little bit more balance into our family life? Now, the request is, can we talk about it? Not, we don't say, can we bring more balance into our life? There's the big, huge, impossible to do request. Well, it's balanced enough for me, you know. So the request is specific. Can we sit down after dinner with a cup of coffee and just have a talk about how we might bring, do you see? So the request is very likely to get a, yeah, okay. Very likely to get a yes. It's doable, it's specific, it's one step. It's not huge. So that's the, if you like, that's the translation of, you're never here, you don't care about the family at all. So those four elements, observation, feeling, need, request, they don't have to be in that sequence. It doesn't matter. You can start with the need. You know, I just so love it when we have quality time together, need. So when I remember the last 3 weekends, you know, observation, I feel da-da-da. How about the need, observation, feeling, request? Any order, it doesn't matter. Start with the request, but make sure it's based on your need, because it's the need that makes sense of everything else. The need makes sense of the request, of the feeling, you know.
Let's also see Jackal and Giraffe language in some other situations. Suppose a son refuses to wear his helmet on his motorcycle because he doesn't like the one that his father bought for him. What would the father say in Jackal language?
You're an idiot. You don't wear your helmet on your bike.
Now the same thing in Giraffe language.
When you don't wear your helmet on your bike, I get worried and scared because I want us all to be safe. How about we go buy a new helmet of your choice and agree that you wear it whenever you ride your bike?
In another situation, imagine a team member comes to meetings 15 to 20 minutes after the start and the project deadline is in a few days. How does the team leader react in Jackal language?
If you always come late, we will never get this done.
The same thing in Giraffe language.
I noticed that you arrived later than our agreed time for the last 3 meetings, and I'm worried because keeping to our committed deadlines is important to me. Would you be willing to discuss what might be the problem and what could help you to come on time?
we can see what a difference the choice of words and language can make. Thank you for tuning in to this session of Heartful Communication. Do join us for the next episode. Sit comfortably and close your eyes softly and gently. Feel a healing energy move up from the earth into your toes, feet, and ankles. Feel your toes relax and your feet relax, and allow your ankles to relax. Now feel this healing energy move up to your knees. As it moves up, it relaxes your calf muscles. Feel this energy remove all the tension from your knees. Now it is moving further up your legs, into your thighs. Feel your thighs relaxing. Now the energy has moved into your hips and waist. Feel them relax. As the energy moves up, your lower back is relaxing. And your stomach. Now the energy has moved into your chest area. Feel it relax. Feel the energy move up your back and into your shoulders. Feel your upper back relax. And feel your shoulders simply melting away. The energy is now moving into your arms. They too are getting relaxed. Feel all the tension from your elbows leaving. And as the energy moves into your forearms, they too are getting relaxed. Remove all the tension from your wrists as the energy moves into your hands and right up to your fingertips. Now move your attention up to your neck. The energy is moving up and relaxing your neck muscles. Now it is moving into your face, relaxing your jaw and mouth. The energy moves into your nose and eyes, relaxing them. Your cheek muscles are relaxed. Feel your earlobes relax. And now the energy is moving all the way up to the top of your head. Feel it relax. feel your entire body is relaxed from top to toe. Now move your attention to your heart. Feel that a source of light is already present in your heart, and it is attracting you from within. Do not try and see the light, just know that it is there in your heart. Be open and receptive to a very subtle energy flowing into you. Relax into this feeling. If you find your awareness drifting at any time to other thoughts, don't fight them. Let them be. Gently remind yourself that you are meditating on the light in your heart. Allow yourself to become more and more absorbed within. Remain absorbed until you hear further guidance. while keeping your eyes closed, gently come out of the state of meditation. Now gently open your eyes. Reflect on what you just experienced. Try and retain this condition as you return to your daily routine.